The full moon of March 7th, 2023 may very well herald a powerful awakening all over the earth. We're talking possible earthquakes in California, high tides, a lot of solar activity, creating plasma getting in around the electromagnetic field of the earth. There's an unstable electromagnetic field, as you all know. And my question is this the beginning of the end of the third dimension? I'm going to be sharing my experiences and my thoughts in this video. And I am Mahadeva, the Thunder Wizard, and this is the thunderwizard.com YouTube channel. And so I want you to be prepared this March 7th, the full moon, to really take advantage of the incredible amount of energy that's going to be hitting Earth. And I would recommend that you do some practices. If you are doing the Warrior 90-Day Challenge, I would recommend that you do some Qigong and perhaps your mantra. If you have the ability to spend some time in the moonlight or at night, my experience is that the day just before the full moon is the most powerful, but whenever you can get out there and start working with the moon, this full moon, I strongly recommend it. I'm not here to give any, definite predictions, but I'm having the feeling that perhaps this may be one of those dates where everything is going to shift in a new direction. I do believe at the very least that the energy of the planet is going to shift up into a place that will be new, and it's not going to come back down. So I'm getting this not only from Vedic astrology, but also from geophysics. And I'll be sharing a little bit about that, but I left a link for you in the description if you want to listen to a scientist who's going to be telling you from a scientific perspective how incredibly powerful this full moon is going to be because of the combination of the unprecedented activity coming from the sun, also how that is working with the magnetic shift in our planet. The magnetic poles of the sun, by the way, are also shifting. So we're having this shift in the sun and the earth at the same time, and how when you've got this full moon coming in, how all of this comes together to bring huge transformational shifts. And according to a geophysicist, he says that there's a very good chance that we might be seeing some earthquakes in California as a result of all of this stuff coming together. So I guess let's start with a little bit of Vedic astrology. I guess let's start with me personally. So, I do follow, of course, I am a Vedic astrologer, so I do follow that a little bit, but I don't spend all my time, watching what's happening and this variation and that variation. I don't do that, really. But when things like this, we got this conflagration of things coming together. We've got this powerful new moon in a time where astrologically things are shifting into a very powerful place. The full moon is going to be in Leo, which of course is the sign of the sun, and it's just that in itself makes it a very powerful placement. We've got Jupiter and Venus in Pisces. That's a powerful placement as well. And then we have, again, all the stuff that's happening. As you know, the Earth's magnetic field has been shifting considerably. It has been reducing. The electromagnetic field has been reducing considerably. So whenever you have intense solar activity combined with lower magnetic field of the Earth, you have a lot of things going on. I mean, there are people who I'm sure watching this who have seen the northern lights in Europe that have been as far south as France. So, the northern lights are a result of that. There has been increasing activity with the sun. As I said, the magnetic poles of the sun are starting to shift. and that creates a lot of intense solar activity. And so there have been coronal mass ejections, a lot of solar, wind energy, and plasma getting into the Earth's magnetosphere and all kinds of stuff like that. So all of this stuff is going to come together March 7th for the full moon. I strongly recommend that you do some work. If you haven't already, this is a great time. Go ahead and sign up for the Warrior 90-Day Challenge Lightning Qigong. Click on that, just press play, and feel free to take any one of those practices and do it during the full moon so that you can align yourself. My physical body is having a hard time adjusting to all of the energy. I'm having to do a lot of meditation. I'm having to make sure that I get plenty of sleep and I rest. I mean, I normally like to really stay physically active, going to the gym, surfing, and past couple of days, my ET friends have come to me and said, we need to do energy work on you to prepare you for the energy that is coming. And so I'm listening to them, and I was wondering why, why all this energy all of a sudden. I've been getting this feeling that there is going to be huge shifts this month. And I don't know when, I don't know the exact days. Again, that makes me look at Vedic astrology. And when I see the shifts that are coming, combine that with my personal physical feelings of just huge amounts of energy going through my body, combined with the fact that my friends have, now come to me 2 days in a row and said, we need to give you some energy to help prepare you for a big shift that's coming. They're tight-lipped about exactly what, and that makes me believe that it's a big deal, because if I ask them exactly what's going on, they say, we're not ready to tell you yet. So I don't know. In the previous video that I uploaded, I gave you a link to Joni Patry, who talked about in this, according to her, later this month, there might be some issues in the sky that may ground the planes. Planes may not fly. Now, that's a very easy thing to do. If you have a big enough solar event that gets into our atmosphere, that could ground planes very easily. I mean, we haven't in recent years had a big enough solar event to ground planes, but that's because planes haven't been around that long in terms of the history of the Earth. But no doubt, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Definitely at some point there's going to be a big enough solar event that if we continue with the technology that we have, it's going to ground all of our planes, it's going to knock out electrical grids, knock out internet. That's not a question of if, it's a question of when. That's definitely going to happen. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen this time, but there's definitely something going on. So my feeling about this month, and I'm prepared to be wrong. I won't lose any sleep if I turn up to be mistaken about this. And I'm not getting any direct information from anywhere. This is just my intuition telling me that this month of March, there's going to be some pretty radical shifts. I believe one of the things that's going to happen is that there's going to be a lot more revealing to the world of what has been going on behind the scenes in terms of the pandemic, in terms of war in Russia, in Ukraine, in terms of what is really going on with the politics of the United States and China, and what is going on with this weather balloon / UFO nonsense. I mean, that's one of the weirdest, most awkward segues I've seen, big government and big media do, where, they show this weather balloon over, Alaska somewhere and Canada, and we see it getting shot down out of the sky. And then the next thing we hear is these unidentified objects, and they won't really tell what it is, and those were also shot out of the sky. And why the secrecy? I mean, what was it? Was it a plane? Was it a a balloon. You know, they're obviously trying to set us up for, what is it? Is it spaceships? I mean, it's obvious. It's so childishly bad, the setup that they're trying to give. So I believe that there's going to be more revelations. If one of the things that's going on, these distractions, which is exactly what they are, weather balloons being shot out of the sky and then talk of UFOs, is because the narrative behind the pandemic, the narrative behind all of the medical procedures and all of that is just, people are finding out, even just watching regular YouTube, it's coming out that, what we were told was a bunch of nonsense. And so in order to distract you from that, they're giving you this other nonsense. But I think underneath all of that, remember I talked about in the last video the Looking Glass Project, where before 2012, the elites and the covert military were looking for ways to create more drama and chaos in the world so that they could consolidate more and more power with the goal of having their corporate takeover of the entire planet. And what happened is using this technology, the Looking Glass Project, they were able to see that something was going to happen after 2012. Something after 2012 was going to begin a shift, and then at some point after that, there would be an awakening event that would completely, totally take all of their power away from them, and this frightened them considerably. So they've really stepped up their game, and no doubt what's been going on the past 3 years, and all of this nonsense of weather balloon / UFO from space getting shot out of the sky is them gearing up for something, because they know that their time is coming. And I'm wanting to know, is that time now? I am not making a prediction. My belief is that there's going to be some upheavals and some chaos worldwide. There might be another, grounding of planes all over the world. There might be something like that where, the powers that be will use some nonsense to create a false tragedy, but there might be something going on as well in terms of earthquakes and in terms of solar activity. So check out the link below. From that video, I pulled this screenshot. I pulled this screenshot here. Now, what he talks about in that is, you see there the green thing, it says plasma, and you see the moon. So what this is talking about is that when there's massive solar ejections that gets into our atmosphere, gets into our magnetosphere, it becomes very highly charged and what is called plasma. Very, we're no longer just talking about, regular solar energy. Now it's turned into very powerful energy called plasma. And so it gets caught in what's called the magnetotail, I guess is what it's called. And the full moon, as it is orbiting around Earth, it comes here, and there's some cockatoos in the trees outside my window. It gets caught into the, as the moon comes around, it gets caught into this plasma, very highly charged solar energy that's in our magnetosphere, and it gets reflected back on Earth. So you can see Earth is kind of sandwiched between all of this solar energy hitting it on one side, and then it comes around from behind, and then the full moon ends up reflecting all of that energy back onto the Earth again. So the full moon has a lot to do with intense energy. And just watching that video, I was very educated. It turns out that before there are earthquakes, the Earth will release all kinds of higher magnetic frequencies. So the Schumann resonance goes haywire. And so apparently this is happening along the San Andreas Fault. And this guy, he's a geophysicist, he makes the prediction that around the full moon, because of the conflagration of all these things coming together, this, the sun already heading towards solar maximum, doing all this kind of crazy stuff, and releasing more than normal energy towards the towards the Earth, the Earth itself having a weakened magnetic field, and on top of that, the Earth is releasing a lot of higher magnetic energy in the San Andreas Fault. And then on top of that, you have the high tides, and you have the moon that is now taking all of this extra solar plasma energy and reflecting it back on the Earth. And according to him, he thinks it's very likely that there might be an earthquake. It just so happens that astrologically speaking, there's also going to be potentially earthquakes as well. We see that in the Vedic chart for the Earth at the moment. So I just wanted to bring that up and give you an opportunity. Go out and do some meditation. This full moon, take advantage of it. If you have a mantra, you should be chanting your mantra. Chant your mantra under the full moon. Again, my experience is to do it the day before or the evening before the actual full moon. You want to get to it before the moon gets completely full, because then it starts to go down in strength. You want to get all that strength as it's building. I can feel it. Every night I'm feeling the energy get stronger. Today, I had this whole, very physical day planned, because it was my day off, and I was going to go surf and go to the gym and swim, and my body said, no, we are going to stretch and we are going to meditate. And my ET friends have come to me 3 days in a row now and said, we need to give you some energy to help your body prepare for this big shift. So something big is coming. I don't know when, perhaps starting with the 7th. I think let's keep an eye out, but I think what's going to happen is that this full moon is going to bring a shift. And as I'm talking, I'm getting some energy jolts as I'm saying that. So even if we don't see anything happening, I'm here to tell you that this full moon is going to bring a huge planetary shift, which could have long-lasting effects. I think it's going to be a domino effect. My personal belief is that there's going to be a domino effect of a bunch of things happening physically, astrally, psychologically, spiritually. I think a lot of things are going to shift. And so keep your eyes peeled. And especially like me, I have my natal moon in Leo, in the exact placement of where the moon is going to be again. So it's kind of like a birthday for me, even though it's not technically my birthday. But if you have moon in Leo, this will be a very powerful time for you to meditate and do energy work. Again, this channel is not just about listening to me talk. This channel is a resource for you. So please put the effort into going onto the channel page, the YouTube channel page, looking at the playlists and taking advantage of the free practices. My strongest recommendation is that you follow the regimen that I've been giving out, which is the highest energy practice in the history of the world. Feel free to go and prove me wrong if you want. Go up here to thunderwizard.com and click around for the Warrior 90-Day Challenge Lightning Qigong and subscribe. For the same amount of money that you're going to be paying for a video game, you're going to get the most powerful energetic practice that combines the 3 spiritual energies that humans need in order to evolve. It is Qi, life force energy. Qigong, we do that. It's also Kundalini. Kundalini is the 5th dimensional energy of consciousness that catapults you into the 5th dimension and gives awareness and enlightenment. And then there's the lightning energy that surrounds the heart. Almost nobody knows about this. I've combined these 3 energies into one practice called the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. All you have to do is press play, follow just me on the video. Just do what I do, and I guarantee you will be able to access the 5th dimension, where you will be able to see your highest probable reality, be able to bring it back and then activate it. Remember, it's a 3-step process. You have to do all 3 in order to get the most out of it. First one is to know what your desire is. If you don't know what your soul desire is, what you truly want from a soul level, you can go to career.thunderwizard.com and you can purchase that, and I will tell you exactly how to find that. You can also simply read my book, The Shamanic Secret Commandment to a Perfect Life, or you can go onto the channel. I read it for you for free if you don't want to spend the $5 or $10 if you're really that strapped for cash. All right, I'll let you go ahead. I've already read the whole book for free on my channel. You can learn how to do that. If you are still having trouble, then go to career.thunderwizard.com, purchase that teaching, and that will give you step-by-step instructions how to find what your true soul path, your true soul career is. So the first thing you have to do is know what your soul wants. Second thing you have to do is you have to then be able to travel to the 5th dimension, to the probability state, where you have infinite probabilities. Your life is not set in stone. The future hasn't happened yet. Truth is, we create every moment based on a probability from the 5th dimension, but we don't realize it. So you need to have a meditative practice, an energy practice that will allow you to go to the 5th dimension to see that best reality for you. And then you need to, on the 3rd step, come back into your body and be able to take the appropriate actions. You need to have the bravery and the strength, because sometimes you're going to have to take risks. You're going to have to do things that are completely different based on, how you've trained yourself, and that sometimes can be challenging, frightening. You're going to need power. So the power is going to come from doing the energy practices. So that's the 3-step. Know what your desire is. 2, travel to the 5th dimension, find out your best probable reality, and then come back 3 into your physical body and take the appropriate physical action, which will flip the switch in the 5th dimension to manifest that reality you've already determined for yourself. So I wish you all the best, and I'm sure you'll see me before then. I don't know if you can hear the cockatoos screaming out there, but they definitely agree with me. Go sign up for the Lightning Qigong and do some kind of meditation or some kind of energy work this full moon so that you can handle the shift that is coming. I believe there will be one starting. It's already started, but I believe we'll definitely feel it March 7th for sure. I wish you all the best. I'll see you on the channel later on. Take care.